Today I am going to be talking about dietary issues, in particular people trying to get other people to change their diets. This may be triggering for some people. If you are one of those people, please stop listening now. Hello, and thank you for joining me for this, the 5th episode of the LittleAutisticMe Podcast. My name is David and I am a late diagnosed autistic male. I would like to start out by saying that this episode may be a bit short. This is because I have had a bit of a chest infection and I am struggling to speak for any length of time. Now, on with the show. Human beings are, by nature, pretty judgmental creatures. Some of them tend to take issue with everything. No matter what you do, someone is going to have a problem with it. Typically, I can let judgments just wash over me. I find most of them trivial or believe that they are just being vocalised for attention. What better way to get a reaction than by saying something inflammatory? There is, however, one subject which I cannot do that with. It is food, or more specifically, people questioning or criticising my diet. I've had people telling me what to eat, what not to eat, telling me to eat more or less, encouraging me to eat when I'm not hungry. It just goes on and on. It has happened even when I have explained that eating something, or at a particular time, will cause me to suffer from really bad gastrointestinal issues, and this really has to stop. People assume that what works for them when it comes to diet will work for everybody else too. It really won't. Not everybody has the same experience of food as you do, not everyone has the same digestive system as you do, and not everyone can tolerate the same foods as you can. For some people, trying to change their diet can lead to disastrous outcomes. It can cause controlled eating disorders to resurface because of the criticism itself, or because of the encouragement to deviate from a diet which is keeping it controlled. I get that there are reasons for people being so passionate about this. I do understand that people feel strongly about not eating certain things because of ethical issues, but some people cannot vary their diet even though they may agree with your views. I also understand that sometimes people are trying to save the planet by encouraging people not to eat some types of food, but when you have issues with food, that still can't always be taken into consideration. I am very aware of these things and I actually agree with them, but for me as an autistic person it's just not as simple as not eating the things that you or even I find objectionable. I've tried dietary changes and it leads to me starving myself. For a long time I've been seeing a lot of very judgmental posts on Twitter, I'm still struggling to call that X, and other social media sites berating people for their diets, and it's really not helpful. In fact, it's downright toxic. I've also had people tell me in real life that I should stop eating this and start eating that. Please stop doing that. Put simply, you don't know why people eat stuff that you don't, and you don't know the impact that trying to change that might have on their health. I eat what I can, and it's mainly decided based upon sensory issues. There are many foods which I cannot tolerate the texture of. I also struggle when something has a different texture, taste, smell or look than I expect it to have. In this case, it will go in the bin and I will not eat. Then there is the whole process of deciding what to eat and sourcing it. I cannot do a regular shop because of issues with being out in public and amongst people. That causes me anxiety, which then means I don't buy the things I set out to buy and come home with things like crisps or potato chips for the non-British people and chocolate. I usually end up trying to get takeaway food delivered to my house. That in itself is a nightmare though. I use Just Eat, other delivery services are available. I have the app on my phone, All my details, payment methods, etc. are already there, so it should be easy, right? Well, no. You see, there are many places in my area offering their services, and all of them offer multiple foodstuffs. There is far too much choice. I often spend hours looking through menus from various places and ultimately not getting anything. When that happens, I turn to the crisps and chocolate I mentioned earlier. The same applies to criticising people's choice of drink. There are very few liquids that I can drink, again because of sensory issues. If I try to drink something different, then I avoid drinking and end up dehydrated. This is the same for many autistic people. It just isn't easy for us to change what we consume as you think it is. No amount of sticking with it will help. Most of the time we know we aren't doing the healthy thing, and often we already feel bad about it. You don't need to keep pointing it out. In conclusion, I would like to ask people of the internet, and in real life actually, to please stop telling people what to eat and drink. If what you eat works for you, then that's great, but I eat what I eat so that I'm actually eating something, and I drink what I drink so that I'm drinking something. Please stop judging people and just let them do what works for them. Thank you as always for listening to this episode. If you have found it useful, enjoyable, or whatever else, please consider donating via Ko-fi at https://ko-fi.com/LittleAutisticMe. The music used in this episode is by Circle Note Music, and you can find their content on Bandcamp at https://circlenote.bandcamp.com.